Welcome to the weekly dose of Emuna for Shabbat Kodesh. Today we're going to explore the 5 levels of the soul, and we're going to learn it in respect to the idea of the additional soul that we receive every Shabbat, Bezrat Hashem. So in order to understand this whole idea of an additional soul, let's first discuss, as we have in the previous Shabbat audios, the 3 dimensions of the soul. So again, we have the highest level, which is called the neshama, from the word neshima, from the word breath. We have the ruach, which literally means wind, which is seated in the heart. And then we have the nefesh, from the word nafash, which means rested. It rests in the liver. The neshama, I did mention before, rests in the brain. Again, the ruach dwells in the heart, and the nefesh is attached to the liver. Let's understand that we have a very immediate interaction with all these 3 levels of our soul. And the neshama, which is not completely attached to the body, but it does have some sort of interaction with the body through the ruach. Let's go and try to understand this a little bit more. The nefesh is actually bound to a person's body, to their material needs, to their tendencies. It's sort of an animating force that motivates us to interact with life, to eat, to drink, and be part of life, of this world. The neshama essentially dwells mostly not mostly, but exclusively in the matters of ruhaniyut, of spirituality. It's in what they call the intellectual soul, because what it does is it teaches us how to create and fulfill a life that's solely attached to doing Ratzon Hashem and being attached to Hashem. The Ruach, as I began to explain before, is essentially this mediator. It's constantly moving between the nefesh, the lower part of the soul, to the neshama, the higher part of the soul. And on weekdays, this ruach, this part of dimension of the soul, is more attached to the nefesh, which is more to that animating force, to the bodily, physical part, so to speak, interacting with our body. On Shabbat, on the other hand, the ruach separates, so to speak, from the nefesh and attaches itself to the neshama. So already here we see that every Shabbat, the Jewish soul changes and becomes in itself more spiritual. And then in addition to that, we also receive what's called a neshama yetera, an additional soul. And what happens is on Shabbat, when Shabbat ends, the ruach actually returns back to attaching itself to the nefesh, and the neshama yetera returns back to Shemayim. So you might want to listen to that part a couple more times before you move on to this part of understanding the additional soul. The neshama yetera, essentially, there are 2 purposes for the reason why we receive it. You have what's called the outer purpose, which Rashi explains means that essentially the soul sort of expands. It becomes a little bit more sensitive to what's going on around in the physical world. The outer purpose of the additional soul, essentially, and this is so fascinating, we have a heightened experience in terms of colors, in terms of tasting food, in terms of appreciating sounds, the ability to see things differently. All of that is sharpened due to this additional soul that we receive. So we don't even notice, but maybe we'll pay closer attention to a bird flying, or to the grass, or to the sky. We'll have this heightened ability to maybe taste things in food that we didn't taste before, which gives somewhat of a logical reason why Shabbat food tastes better, because we're given this ability to delight in Shabbat through the outer purpose of the additional soul. On the other hand, you have this inner purpose, and the inner purpose is all for spirituality, that we're given this additional soul so that we can focus our minds exclusively on Hashem, and we can feel His presence in a more acute way, and we can have more kavana in our tefillot. We can have a higher level of understanding and have more pleasure in learning Torah on Shabbat. the idea of studying Torah on Shabbat, because we have more delight, because we have this ability to feel Hashem's presence on a heightened level due to the inner purpose of the additional soul, we're able to absorb ourselves more closely to studying Torah. We're able to essentially detach from material needs, maybe to selfish needs, why sometimes we might learn Torah. On Shabbat, we're able to learn more lishma, for its own purpose. And so this really gives us a new level of attachment to Hashem, and that increased understanding of the Torah helps in itself to be able to feel closeness to Hashem. And in fact, as a result of all of that, as we know, as we learn Torah with more of a spiritual kavanah, then we also increase our Emuna in the Torah study, and so on and so forth. So we see here on many different levels that the neshama, that the neshama during the week, even though we can use it, and we do use it to understand the Torah, the neshama yetara essentially enables us to understand secrets and multiple levels of Torah that we're not able to achieve during the week, because we have that additional help, the siyata d'shmaya, the illumination of the additional soul that helps us on this day to really be able to feel Hashem's closeness, to have better understanding. And now we've learned also that we can attach ourselves and appreciate more the physical aspects of life, but actually attach them more to a spiritual sensitivity, which is an amazing teaching. And God willing, this week, this coming Shabbat, every Shabbat, that we sit down and explore the yummy taste of the food and look at all the different colors of salads and so on the table and textures, we can appreciate the fact that we are actually given this sense of clarity due to the neshama yetara, and due to the fact that, our soul in itself has become more elevated by default, just because it's Shabbat Kodesh. We can appreciate the gift of Shabbat and appreciate the fact that our soul is multidimensional and we're experiencing different things at the same time, which means we're essentially attaching ourselves to infinity, to a boundless ability to be able to feel and experience different things. So God willing, this will enhance our Shabbat, and we'll be able to experience Hashem on multiple levels in a way that we weren't before. Have a wonderful, meaningful Shabbat Kodesh.